If you've driven through Midtown Sacramento lately, you've noticed it. Cranes, construction fences, new buildings going up on blocks that used to be parking lots. Sacramento is in the middle of a building boom, and I'm not talking one or two projects. I'm talking about hundreds of millions of dollars being invested into the city right now, all at the same time. I'm Brian Jang. I'm a Sacramento real estate agent, and I've been watching this market for years. Today, I'm breaking down every major development happening across Midtown Sacramento. What's done, what's being built, and what's coming. And most importantly, what all of this means for home value and your opportunity as a buyer or seller. Because here's the thing, most people only hear about these projects after the prices have already moved. And I want to make sure you know about them now. Let's get into it. Before we walk through each project, I want to give you some context because I think this is genuinely important. Sacramento has historically been underestimated. People call it Cowtown, but the data tells a completely different story right now. We have population growth, we have remote workers relocating from the Bay Area, we have infrastructure investments, and we have a downtown and midtown core that is finally catching up to what this city actually deserves. When a neighborhood gets this kind of investment, new housing, new retail, renovated buildings, walkable amenities, property value respond. That's not a theory, that's history. We've seen it in every major city that went through a revitalization cycle. And now Sacramento is in the middle of that cycle. And projects I'm about to show you, these are the proof. Let's start with the good news, the stuff that's already finished and open. Because sometimes in Sacramento, we talk about projects for years before anything happens. These ones actually cross the finish line. The first project is The Grays, which is on 628 15th Street. This is a brand new 3-story building that opened May 1st of this year, and it's 45 units, studios, 1-bedroom lofts, and live workspaces, all serving folks at 60 to 120% of area median income. So this isn't luxury housing, it's workforce housing, and that matters because it tells you the city is serious about keeping a mix of incomes in the urban core. Cost to build was about $12.2 million. That's real money, real commitment. T20 lofts, 20th and T Street, completed in March of 2026, just a couple months ago. 2 3-story apartment buildings, 36 total units, each with private garages, private gated entry, and storage. $10 million invested right on 20th and T. Leasing is already underway. These kind of boutique buildings with private garages in a walkable neighborhood, they hold their value extremely well. Next is the Wind Park Center, which is on 1616 28th Street. This one's a little different. It's a city-owned building in Wind Park that just got a major renovation. Expanded, new elevator, updated throughout, completed June 2025, now managed by the City Parks Departments and available for short and long-term rentals. Why do I mention this for real estate? Because public investment in parks and community spaces directly elevates surrounding property values. Buyers pay premium to live near well-maintained green spaces. Okay, this is where it gets really interesting. These are the projects actively under construction right now, which means if you're thinking about buying in Midtown, this is the stuff that's about to change your neighborhood. The Jewel, 2130 J Street. This is a big one. 7 stories, 107 apartments, studios, 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, plus ground floor retail. Rooftop, outdoor lounges, fitness center, art gallery, and 10% of the housing units are dedicated to moderate, affordable housing. Construction started earlier this year in January of 2026, and it's expected to be completed summer of 2027. And the developer is Stonebridge Properties. This isn't some out-of-town investors. This is local money betting big on Midtown's future. The next one that's coming is R21 Townhomes on 1803 21st Street. This one is fascinating to me as an agent because it's a for-sale product, not rentals. Beezer Homes is building 48 attached townhomes on the old Sacramento Bee employee parking lot, just south of that iconic building. 8 buildings, 3 stories each, 2 to 4 bedroom floor plans, private 2-car garages. The first building with model units started in June of 2025 and was completed February of 2026. The second building broke ground in September of 25 and is available for sale right now. The total project cost is $34 million, and if the sale pace is strong, all 8 buildings could be finished within 18 to 24 months. For buyers who want that urban, walkable lifestyle but also want to own, not rent, this is exactly what you've been looking for. Newton Booth on 2812 S Street, 4-story mixed use, 38 market rate apartments, 5,000 square feet of ground floor retail. A top-down meaning the structure is complete and should be finished this year. Developer is HK3 Development. The amenities here are great. You got outdoor shared kitchen and dining areas, dog run, fun, bike room. This is the kind of project that makes neighborhoods more walkable and more desirable. The Sutter Medical Center expansion on 2825 Capitol Avenue. Now, this one might not be the flashiest, but pay attention because hospital expansion in the neighborhood is a massive signal. Sutter Health is spending approximately $100 million to add 42 patient beds on the 5th floor of their Women's and Children's Center. 30 medical surgical beds, 12 ICU beds. They broke ground in January 2025 and expect to have patients in new spaces by winter of 2026. Why does this matter for real estate? When an institution like Sutter invests $100 million in the neighborhood, they're signaling long-term commitment. Medical campuses create jobs, foot traffic, and demand for nearby housing, and this is a very bullish signal for Capitol Avenue corridor. Next, we have the Camellia Village on 623 16th Street, a former travel lodge being converted into 42 studio apartments for people experiencing housing insecurity. This is affordable housing done right, taking a vacant building and turning it into permanent homes. Purchased in December of 2024 for $4.5 million. Renovations are underway and is estimated to be completed mid-2026. When cities address housing insecurity thoughtfully like this, it improves neighborhood stability, and that benefits everyone. 2201 J Street remodel, the Cappuccino Show. Okay, I have to talk about this one because it's just really cool. An old dry cleaning building on 2201 J Street is being transformed into a multi-tenant space, and the first tenant is the Cappuccino Show, a 1940s themed coffee shop and a deli by day. Wine bar with classic film screenings at night is estimated to open in the next few months. This is exactly the kind of eclectic, personality-filled business that makes Midtown, Midtown. And for buyers, proximity to unique and independently owned businesses is a quality of life driver that shows up in home value. Now, let's talk about what's proposed and approved. These aren't hypotheticals. These are projects that have gone through the city's approval process. They're real. The question is just timing. First one, we have the Sacramento Bee North on 2100 Q Street. This might be the most significant for sale residential project in the pipeline. Kim Lewis Communities just bought 6.2 acres of the former Sacramento Bee campus for $18.5 million last July. And they plan to build 60 single-family homes and 61 for-sale townhomes. Single-family homes with private outdoor space in Midtown Sacramento, that is rare. The Bee's former headquarters building was already demolished in late 2025. Construction is slated to start late 2026 and finish by winter of 2029. For buyers, if you're interested in owning a single-family home with that walkable Midtown lifestyle, watch this project closely. You have the Juno mixed use on 1601 J Street, 7 stories, 200 market rate apartments, 40,000 square feet of ground floor retail, courtyard, pool, fitness center, 253 parking stalls, estimated at $135 million. This project is a shovel ready. Entitlements are approved, building permits approved. They just haven't announced construction schedule yet. When this one breaks ground, it will be one of the largest private developments in Midtown history. Next one, we have the Marshall School Adaptive Reuse on 2718 G Street. A long vacant school building being converted into 36 apartments across 3 floors, plus 12 duplex buildings with 24 additional units. Application approved in March of 2025. An annex building already demolished, and construction is expected to start later this year. Adaptive reuse of historic buildings add character and density to a neighborhood in a way a new construction alone can't replicate. Next up, we have the Briggs Mansion Bed and Breakfast on 2015 21st Street. This is a fun one. A 111-year-old historic mansion is being converted into an 11-room bed and breakfast. Building permits were issued in March of 2026. The developer also owns the neighboring Vizcaya Sacramento Event Center. Once the renovation begins, the project should take about 10 months. A historic B&B right in the middle of Midtown, that's the lifestyle amenity that adds to the neighborhood's identity. Pace Center on 2101 K Street, an empty office building being converted into an adult daycare center. A PACE program, which stands for Program of All-Inclusive Care for the Elderly. Medical visits, physical therapy, social activities, all in one place. Design plans approved in February of 2026. And this speaks to Sacramento's growing commitment to aging in place infrastructure. And it activates a vacant building on K Street. All right, now let's connect the dots, because all of these projects are interesting on their own, but what do they mean together? First is the density and walkability drive value. Every apartment building, every mixed-use project, every retail space that fills in a parking lot and makes the neighborhood more walkable. And walkability is one of the most consistent predictors of home value appreciation. This isn't an opinion, it's backed by decades of urban planning research. Second, institutional investment is a leading indicator. When Sutter Health Wealth drops $100 million in neighborhoods, when Beazer Home bets $34 million on for sale products, when a company like Tim Lewis pays $18.4 million for land, these are not just speculative bets. These are professionals who have underwritten the market and believe in its future. As a buyer, that should tell you something. Third, new construction raises the price floor. When new units come in at a higher price point, whether for sale or for rent, they establish a new baseline for the area. Existing properties around them get reevaluated upwards. This is a classic neighborhood appreciation mechanic. Fourth, Sacramento is still affordable relative to where this demand is coming from. Bay Area buyers looking at Midtown Sacramento are comparing it to San Francisco, Oakland, and San Jose. Even with appreciation, we're dramatically more accessible. That gap is closing, but right now the window is still open. And now if you're a buyer thinking about Midtown, here are the specific corridors I'd be watching right now based on everything we just covered. The J Street corridor from 16th to 27th, there are multiple active and proposed projects here. The Jewel, the Juno mix use, the Cappuccino Show activation, J Street is becoming a true live, work, play corridor. The 21st Street corridor from Q to T Streets, between the R21 townhomes actively selling, the Sacramento Bee North project coming, and the Beazer development, this is one of the most active for sale corridors in the entire city right now. The Capitol Avenue corridor, Sutter's $100 million expansion plus multiple residential proposal makes this a medical and residential hub that's going to attract significant buyer demand. And honestly, all of Midtown broadly, because when a neighborhood gets this much coordinated investment, the rising tide lifts all boats. Whether you're buying a condo, a single family home, or a townhome, if you can buy in Midtown in the next 12 months, the fundamentals are in your favor. Sacramento is not waiting around anymore. The city is being built right now. And if you're sitting on the sidelines waiting for the perfect time to buy, I want you to look at everything we just covered and ask yourself, what are you waiting for? If you're thinking about buying in Sacramento, especially in the Midtown area, I want to talk to you. I know these projects, I know the streets, and I know how to help you find the right property before the prices catch up to what the city is becoming. You can email me or text me directly. Let's have a real conversation about what's right for you. And if you found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with anyone you know who's thinking about Sacramento real estate. And drop a comment below. I want to know which of these projects surprise you the most. I'm Brian Jang, Sacramento Brian, and I'll see you in the next one.